I'm Mike Ryan. You know, of all the famous turquoise mines, perhaps the most fascinating and mysterious is Hidden Valley. Now, those of you who have read Turquoise in America Part 2, 1910 to 1990, will be familiar with the story of Wayne Nelson. Now, Wayne Nelson had a storied career in turquoise. He started off cutting for Francis Farr in the mid-70s at Lone Mountain. And the year or so that Francis Farr was had a subcontract with Menless Winfield there. Trying to buy it, he wasn't successful in doing so. But Wayne cut for him there, and then he went on to be involved in cutting and selling turquoise. He ended up meeting a miner, a prospector in the Tonopah area, who presented him with about 400 pounds of saleable turquoise, rough, that came from what the miner said was Hidden Valley. Now, Wayne would never identify the name of this miner. Personally, I think it was most probably because the miner was high grading on some other claim. But we don't really know, and I don't know that we ever will know exactly where the Hidden Valley came from. But I think, as we're going to see, it's my opinion that it is most probably from somewhere in the Candelaria Hills. I think it has a look that is closest to Candelaria, although it has a very unique look as well. And we're going to see that at the highest grade, it is perhaps the rarest of all turquoise. So what I like to do is to take a look at a couple of trays of Hidden Valley, and then we'll get to see some Hidden Valley that we have available at the Calais collection. We see in this tray a selection of Hidden Valley. I would say for the most part, this is from high mid-grade. Let's say we have a high mid-grade in this cab, and perhaps in this high mid-grade here. But then we're going to be really getting into some real high grade. My goodness, this one, you could possibly confuse that with a high grade Candelaria. And there is a real look of a Candelaria look. Look in these cabs with this sort of water web look here, and in these. Beautiful look for Hidden Valley. Wayne Nelson took this turquoise, came to market in, I'd say 1976 or so, 77, and it really hit the market big. And Wayne was taking this around to different jewelers. He'd make the rounds. He knew all the big buyers, like Charles Lolema and Alvin Yellowhorse. And we saw a lot of Hidden Valley in jewelry in the early 80s. And then it just sort of dried up because, Wayne would buy some turquoise from the fellow, go out and sell it, and then get some money, come back, buy some more. He'd be cutting when he could, but you know how it goes. When you want to turn that over quickly, you sell rough. And he says in his story in Turquoise in America Part 2, some of the folks that he was selling rough to at that time. But as we can see, he also cut a number of cabs. And I'm estimating that of that 400 pounds, maybe 100 pounds or so of it was cut, which would mean that in cut cabs, it was somewhere in the same number of cut cabs as let's say, Lander Blue. So certainly not a very high production turquoise mine. In this tray, we see what I consider some of the rarest and highest grade, highest gem grade turquoise that I've ever seen. If we consider that perhaps 100 pounds of the Hidden Valley was cut, this represents a 7-pound rock that Wayne Nelson had. He didn't cut it for many years. It sat on the bookshelf of his daughter. and he didn't have a saw big enough to cut it. You can hear this story in the interview on the blog with Wayne Nelson. And I encourage you to look at that. He's quite an interesting fellow. He's pretty shy man. And I don't think you'll find too many interviews with Wayne Nelson. But he finally did cut into this rock, and it was a large 14-pound rock, and in one half of the rock, there was this turquoise. So I'm guessing this is somewhere around maybe 1,000 or more carats of turquoise. So of the entire 100,000 carats or so that was perhaps cut of Hidden Valley, this represents a very small percent of what was a very low production turquoise mine. So it is extremely rare, and it's such a unique look. Look at this big cab here, with this beautiful blue, and it has this unique green in the matrix. You see this here, this green, that is really unique to any turquoise that I've ever seen. Really quite exceptional. And look at this blue. Just a very distinctive gem grade blue. So this is really among the most rare of all turquoise. Really beautiful gem grade Hidden Valley. So as we see, Hidden Valley is a unique story. It's unique among all the famous turquoise mines. It's very low production. You don't find much Hidden Valley available. And especially at this gem grade level, which other than what you just saw today, I don't think you're going to find it anywhere else unless Wayne happened to sell one of those pieces before they came into the Calais collection. So I am going to be sharing one of those pieces, the rarest of the rare, and you can see it here. This is a really exceptional piece of turquoise. And although it is not inexpensive, relative to what is available in the marketplace, you won't find anything else like it anywhere else. So I hope you've enjoyed this exploration of Hidden Valley